granddaddy of all genuses in that list. So you should have subject on the top. You guys get that?
Yes, sir.
Then math and science, you should have recognized, oh, these are kinds of math, so math is next. And these are kinds of science, so science. So math and science are brother and sister. Aww. Well, this is the 90s, so you pick.
Wait, is this for Mr. Richard? Wait, physics is part of
Sorry, Elijah.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes. Yes.
Is this from yesterday
Now
or
we
today's?
know.
Yes.
The more you
Okay, so
know.
I can write this as yesterday's then?
This is the exercise. So you're going to copy from your sister,
Okay.
and you're going to get those exercises knocked out.
Okay. Oh, not right now.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last one, and you got algebra, geometry, biology, chemistry, physics. Did anybody get that one?
No, I put bio under math.
I put physics as a separate category. Like I did subject and math, physics and science.
Because you didn't know physics was a science. All right.
Mr. Richard,
Now you do.
Well, it's really math too.
can we start having PE?
No.
Because we had to take out types.
Geometry is kind of math. Yeah. Okay. Let's start lesson 3. So, new page. The date is Tuesday, August 21st, in the year of our Lord 2018. It's been a long time coming. He will return. Now, we are talking about terms still. When we talked about genus and species, we're still talking about terms. When today we talk about extension and intention, notice it has an S. It's not like, hey, what are your intentions with my daughter? It's not plans and purposes like, what's your intention? This is a different kind of intention. So make sure you get the spelling right, because sometimes I'll check stuff, and even what you're writing down in your book is not the same as what I'm putting on the board. So you guys need to check your work carefully. Don't just write intention because you sounded it out. Make sure you copy it off the board, okay? It's kind of important. Alright. So, when we're talking about terms, we talked about the definitions. How many kinds of definitions?
5.
5 of them, and there's some purposes.
6.
6 of them. Okay, good. And so we're looking for clear terms. Do you understand the terms? So we're talking about definitions, because definitions help us be clear. Then, one of the best ways to get an idea of what a term is by understanding the relationship between the genus and the species. Oh, a cat? Well, that's a kind of animal. I'm already halfway there. If I thought a cat was a kind of machine that digs dirt, I'd be all confused.
Oh, it's furry demon.
It's a caterpillar.
Okay? So, we're going to continue our study of terms by saying the extension of a term and the intention of a term and the relationship between extension and intention. So, if I said superhero, can you please tell me any superhero?
Spider-Man! No, he's dead! Batman!
Are you serious?
Mr. Stark?
Hey!
Let's raise our hand if you have something.
Please, no.
Can you put a big X over Spider-Man because he's dead? No, can you leave Spider-Man alive?
He's not technically dead.
It's too late.
Oh, I have one.
Please don't take
Guys,
Thanos.
what?
You're my hero.
I don't know that. I don't know that one.
You don't know Ghost?
Dude, go.
What? Ghost Rider's like the best. Ooh, Joker! Nice! Deadpool! Yes, Deathstroke! And
Guys, that's
Frozen!
good enough.
in Deathstroke.
All right, you guys get the idea. So, a list of every superhero. Okay, guys, I know it's going to be hard. We're going to shift now. A list of every superhero ever imagined existing or planned or written about or known. Every single one is the extension of the term superhero. So when we say, oh, the extension of a term, what we mean is the total number of individuals, to which the term applies. So if you want to do the shorthand version of that, extension is a list of all that thing. A list of everything that means. So if I say, hey, what's the extension of superhero? The extension of the term superhero is a list of every single superhero. If I say, what's the extension of the term book? It's a list of every single book in imagination or existence in all of time and space.
That would take like 3 years.
What about like?
Long time. If I said, what's the extension of helmet? Well, you got space helmet,
head thingy.
cardboard helmet. No, not head thingy. That's the intention of the term. The extension of a term is a list of every single helmet, or every single book, or every single board game, or every single
White helmet.
whatever.
Car.
If you said person or human, then would you have to like...
Every single person in the history of the universe and the future, in imagination and in literature, is the extension
That
of
would
the
take
term.
like 18
It's a list. It's the total number of individuals which the term applies. Now, think about this. The reason we're able to say these are all the superheroes, the extension of the term, is because to be a superhero means something.
Yep.
So what is it that makes all these superheroes?
Well, they're freaking cool. And
The definition, right? They
No,
are
not
they're
Ghost Rider
freaking
doesn't
cool.
save people's lives.
right. They have
Ghost Rider
powers.
Luke Cage.
They help people. They got capes.
Okay, so we all know from Edna Mode that we do not use capes, okay?
I know. I think that.
No
They're outside.
That's for you.
Okay.
So no, but here's the thing I'm trying to say. You make it on the list under the extension of a term because of the intention of the term. The intention is the meaning.
My dad doesn't wear a cape.
The intention is you can basically think of
I don't see my dad in
the meaning.
Bob the Builder is a superhero.
So this is how we're going to do this. Guys, make sure you're getting this in your notes.
Is the meaning of what?
Intention is.
You guys need to have 1 or 2 examples up there, like superheroes. So if I'm putting an example up, you need to make sure you get it.
Okay.
Because writing down just this and this isn't going to help you enough. You need to make sure when you're taking notes, you are able to give me an example or make up another example. So if you're not, your notes aren't good enough. You see what I mean? So that's how you can check. If you catch my meaning, sir. The intention of a term is the total number of characteristics that make the term. Of characteristics, and if you want to use the fancy logic word, characteristics, you're going to call them attributes or notes. The total number of characteristics making the term.
Gosh, Alana.
Oh yeah, she told me that like 4 times.
Guys, drop it, please.
Guys, make sure you're getting these notes, okay? We're being a little distracted. Okay, the total number of characteristics making the term is the intention of it. So, the extension of the word book is a list of every single book. The intention of the word book is got a cover, pages in it, words written on the pages, down in the libraries and people's homes, whatever. So the definition, so the shorthand version of it is the meaning or the definition. So if I say, hey, what's the extension of a term? You're going to say it's the list of all the things that it names. And if I say, what's the intention? You're going to say, what's the meaning of the term? There's different. Okay?
Oh,
Now there's a relationship between extension and intension.
Can you give an example? Like the superhero thing?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. Okay. So now I want you guys to write this down.
And none of those sentences?
Oh, resurgence.
Yeah.
They are sentences?
I'll get mine.
Okay.
There is an inverse relationship between extension, I'm just going to abbreviate, and intention.
Can you put it under the inverse category?
Inverse, yeah. Inverse, we just said there's an inverse relationship between extension and intention. And here's what it means.
What is inverse mean?
Inverse means opposite. You'll see. Inverse means opposite. When extension gets bigger, intention gets smaller. When intention gets bigger, extension gets smaller. So, for example, look at this. Suppose we just start with the clock.
Wait, you're kind of blocking the sentence.
Yeah, it's because I got a body or whatever.
What?
Now, let's take clock as a genus, and let's do species.
Time.
We're going to do digital clock.
Oh.
Now let's use clock as a species and come up with a genus. Timepiece. Because you could have a watch or a sundial or whatever. And then let's go up another level. Put machine. A thing. We could go up higher, right? Is there a highest?
Say.
Everything.
Yeah, you could say a thing. So there's philosophers kind of want to start to think, what's at the very top? If you kind of just kept going up and up and up and up and up and up, what's at the very, very top? What's the biggest genus?
Ooh, solid.
Well, what about spirit?
Everything.
Spirit doesn't have solid. So they actually, it could be thing or substance, but the original split is this. Creator, created. That's the original split.
Write that down.
No, this is just for fun. This is for if you like thinking about this kind of stuff. Wait, so existent, what's creator?
Penny, like a penny.
Creator.
Oh,
Creator
so
is-
people made.
It's the ultimate split is God and everything else, because he is uncreated.
Right.
So creator, created is the ultimate distinction between both.
And animals can create stuff. Like a dog can.
No, they can make stuff. Like a dog can dig a hole.
I know.
But that's different than making a world.
But what if you like
Or baking a cake.
Then why is he?
That's still different.
You can make
Creation is different than making, but we'll get to that later. Let's look at this. So I wanted you to know that there's an inverse relationship. So think about this. Are there more machines? Let's do extension over here. Is the list of all machines bigger than the list of all digital clocks?
No.
Yes. Yes. So this, if we listed every digital clock, and then we bounced up, are there more clocks than there are digital clocks?
Yes.
Are there more timepieces than there are clocks?
Yes.
Are there more machines than there are
Yes.
timepieces? Okay, so what we're noticing is that as we travel up the genus and species chart, the extension increases. There's more and more as we go up. Now, let's do intention. Is the list of characteristics of machine more or less than the list of characteristics to be a digital clock?
Less.
So check it out. So in order to be a machine, you got to have parts arranged to do something. Now, in order to be a timepiece, do we have to add or take away definition? We have to add definition. In order for a timepiece to be a clock, do we have to add or take away definition? We have to add more definition. So every time we go down the genus and species chart, we're adding more definition. Intention increases. And so the inverse relationship is this. The more definition you have, the less things that satisfy it. Extension is less when intention is more. So if you say, that's like the craziest definition you can think of, is like the hair on the head of Winston Churchill on August 17th at 2:45, laying slightly to the left at T. Then what you're noticing is you had a ton of very specific definitions. So how many hairs in the world satisfy that? Just one. So you have huge intention, big intention, but very, very small extension. Now what if you say stuff that breathes? Very small definition.
Whoa.
But you're going to have tons and tons of things that breathe. So you can have big extensions. So the more intention you have, the less extension. And the more extension you have, the less intention. Okay, so there's a relationship there. Let's see if you get it. Can you put these words, these terms, can I erase this? You guys got this in your notes?
Oh, wait for me.
Wait, no.
Okay. Now remember, this is the kind of stuff you don't want to be putting in there. Okay.
Are you gonna put like
So here's a list of terms in alphabetical order. Animal, ape, gorilla, living being, mammal. Okay, so these are just in alphabetical order. And what I would like you to do is, could you please write this list in order of increasing extension? So extension, is that the number of people that make it, or is that the definition?
Definition. No.
Extension is the number of individuals. So we're going to start with the smallest number of individuals.
Gorilla.
Which one of these is the most specific? Okay, so we're going to start with gorilla. Now, which one is one step up from gorilla?
Eight.
Eight. And which is the one next up?
Animal.
from that?
Animal. No, mammal.
Mammal.
Oh yeah.
And next?
Animal.
Animal. And then?
Living breather.
Living being. Okay, good. So what we did is we took this list of terms and put it in order of increasing extension. Every step, there's more and more things that satisfy the definition. Now, can we put the same list in order of increasing intention? You should be able to make that list.
So that's basically going down.
It's going to be the opposite.
It's getting
Increasing intention. Now, which one has the smallest level of definition? Living being.
Oh, yeah. You mean largest?
The smallest amount of definition.
Animal.
Oh, definition.
So now we're doing increasing intention. Now, for living being, then animal gets some more definition because we're saying it's got to move and have senses.
And mammal.
Then we got mammal because we're saying it's got to have certain glands and hair and live birth.
And then ape.
And then we're going to say ape, and we're saying it's got certain characteristics. And then even more specifically, it's gorilla. So every time we jump, we're getting more and more definition. So we're increasing intention. Okay. What time is class over? 10? Or 10:10? 10 o'clock. Okay. Alright, so let's do this. You guys are going to have a quiz after this lesson. So we're going to spend some time reviewing. Let me show you kind of, let me think here. Yeah, so tomorrow we will work on the exercises and do some review, and then on Thursday you're going to have a quiz on everything we've done so far.
Oh my.
So what is logic according to the great Puritan hymn writer Isaac Watts?
Logic is the right use of reason in the inquiry after truth and the communication of it to others.
Isaac Watts.
Okay. Then the other thing is, what is logic study, basically?
Logic studies the form
Process by
of
which we think.
The form of reasoning, the shape of reasoning, how we think. Yes. You went? Fill your water bottle?
Yeah.
Let's wait just a minute. Class is almost over. Okay, then how many kinds of logic are there? Two.
Inductive
Induction
and
and deduction, or inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Okay, and then you'll have to know the 6 purposes and 5 types of definitions. So purpose 1, show relationship. Purpose 2, remove ambiguity. Purpose 3, remove vagueness. Purpose 4, increase vocabulary. Purpose 5, explain theoretical concept. And purpose 6, influence attitudes. And then the 5 types of definition. Lexical definition, precising definition, stipulative definition, theoretical definition, and persuasive definition. Then you're going to have to be able to use genus and species and do the...
Are you going to have this too? This in your text?
Yeah, this stuff will be on the quiz. So the first 3 lessons worth will be on the quiz. Plus our introduction stuff.
What's the quiz?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. So if you don't know any of the types of definitions, if you don't get genus and species,